The cameras flashed, the crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Whispers of a secret guest list, multi-million-dollar arena rentals, and a text message-only invite. It all started with a quiet rumor about an intimate gathering, but now it's a full-blown spectacle. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. But today, we aren't just uncovering Hollywood drama. We're investigating a $3 million magic trick. I mean, are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce really getting married in Madison Square Garden? Or are we all falling for the most expensive decoy in pop culture history?
It truly is the defining cultural mystery of the summer, and the sheer scale of the rumors alone tells you everything you need to know about the intersection of pop culture, immense wealth, and, the actual mechanics of modern celebrity.
Exactly. And that is the absolute mission of today's deep dive. We are talking directly to you, because if you've been on the internet at all this week, you've seen the viral headline, right? The one that says, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's private dinner sparks new wedding buzz.
Oh, yeah. It is everywhere.
It's everywhere. And we have gathered a mountain of sources for this one. We are pulling from the New York Times, Page 6, TMZ, Heavy.com, CBS News, and more. Our goal today is to basically cut through all that noise. We are separating the cold, hard facts like the city permits, the NYPD warnings, the actual financial receipts from the wild, spiraling fan speculation. We're going to unpack exactly what is happening in Midtown Manhattan this coming July.
Right. And to really understand the gravity of what is happening, we have to start by looking at the venue that sits at the dead center of this whole hurricane. We are talking about the billion-dollar bride at the world's most famous arena.
Right. Madison Square Garden. Let's start with the boldest headline out there, which is that they are reportedly throwing a wedding that industry insiders are saying will completely dwarf the Met Gala.
Easily.
They are allegedly dropping over $3 million just to rent out MSG.
Okay.
And when I first read that number in the TMZ report, I had to pause. Because, I mean, you don't just rent Madison Square Garden for a quick afternoon to say your vows.
No, you absolutely do not. The logistics of a venue this massive require a total multi-day blackout. And according to the sources we've compiled, MSG is completely booked for 3 consecutive days.
Right, 3 whole days.
Yeah, July 2nd through July 4th. This isn't just about reserving a room for a 1-hour ceremony, In the live event industry, an operation of this magnitude requires a massive infrastructure push.
Wow.
You need 1 full day, literally just for the load-in. Think about the union labor, the rigging for the lighting, the floral installations, the security sweeps.
Which takes hours and hours.
Exactly. Then you have the day of the actual event itself, and finally, a full day to strike it all down and move the infrastructure out. You are paying for the time the building sits empty just as much as the time it's full.
That makes sense, yeah. Let's break down that financial context a bit, because TMZ really got into the weeds on the pricing here, and the mechanics of it are fascinating. It costs a staggering $1 million a night to rent Madison Square Garden.
Just base price, yeah.
Right. Now, if you are listening to this, you might think, well, she's Taylor Swift. She has sold out this arena, 8 times over her career. She generates millions for the local economy. Surely she gets a VIP A-lister family discount, right?
See, that's the most interesting part of the business side of this rumor. There is no discount.
Zero.
Zero. Madison Square Garden Entertainment Corp. is a publicly traded company. They have a strict fiduciary duty to their stockholders. You cannot just comp $1 million a night or offer a massive percentage off, even for the biggest pop star on the planet.
Because the shareholders would completely revolt.
Exactly. So they're paying full, unvarnished retail price for this space. $3 million minimum, just for the right to turn the lights on.
That is wild. And we aren't just taking the word of anonymous insiders here, by the way. There is physical, documented, legal evidence that something massive is coming.
The permits.
Yes. Winnick Productions, which, for context, is a heavyweight company that handles red carpets for the Grammys and the Tonys, they filed an official permit with the New York City Street Activity Permit Office.
You can't really hide.
No, it's public record. They formally requested to close the streets around MSG and set up a massive canopy outside the arena, for an event expecting anywhere from 500 to 999 attendees.
Which is where this stops being just a pop culture story and starts becoming a genuine civic issue. When you are filing for street closures in the heart of Manhattan during a major holiday weekend.
By 4th of July.
Yeah, the city's leadership absolutely gets involved.
I assume the city would just, rubber stamp a permit for someone this famous, but this is actually causing real political friction. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani actually brought this up at a press conference.
I saw that.
Reporters were asking him about safety protocols for the upcoming World Cup, and he just casually jokes that the city is hosting the July 4th holiday, the America 250 celebrations, and Taylor Swift's wedding, all at the exact same time.
Which is a crazy list of events to group together.
Truly. He even noted he wasn't invited, but he planned to listen to the song Only the Young Alone at Home. Think about that for a second. Imagine your wedding permit making the mayor's press briefing. When the mayor is making jokes about your logistical footprint, you have reached a terrifying level of visibility.
It's true. But if we connect this to the broader strategy of celebrity event planning, it raises a really vital question about the nature of the venue itself. Why MSG?
Okay, wait, stop there, because I can't get past the venue either. I have to challenge this whole narrative. Is Madison Square Garden really a wedding venue?
I mean,
I just picture it. It's a sports arena. It smells like stale beer, hot dogs, and Zamboni exhaust. It has all the romantic ambiance of, like, a corporate sales summit.
that is a fair point.
Why on earth would a billionaire choose a sweaty basketball stadium over a lush private island or a gorgeous Tuscan villa?
It sounds completely counterintuitive until you look at the architecture of the building.
Okay.
Yes, there is a bizarre historical precedent. Sly Stone famously married Kathy Silva there in 1974, and there was a mass wedding of over 2,000 couples in 1982.
Okay, so it has happened.
It has happened, but the real pragmatic appeal for someone of this fame level isn't the romance, it's the geometry.
The geometry. Okay, explain how geometry makes an arena romantic.
Think about what Madison Square Garden actually is. It is a windowless concrete cylinder. It is, for all intents and purposes, an absolute fortress.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Right. For a celebrity trying to avoid the paparazzi, natural light is your enemy. Windows mean telephoto lenses from skyscrapers right across the street. Outdoor venues like a Tuscan villa or a private island beach. Those mean camera-equipped drones and helicopters circling above you all day. MSG has heavily guarded subterranean entrances. It has underground parking. Guests can arrive in blacked-out SUVs, drive directly into the loading docks, and step onto the arena floor without ever once breathing the outside air or stepping onto a public sidewalk.
So they aren't buying a wedding venue.
Exactly. They are buying a $3 million military-grade bunker that just happens to serve champagne.
Wow. They aren't renting a venue. They are renting a secure perimeter. That makes so much sense when you frame it as a defense strategy against telephoto lenses. But wait till you hear who made the guest list for the highly guarded private dinner that started this whole frenzy in the first place, and the former best friend who was shockingly left off the list. If you're loving these Hollywood twists and diving into the receipts with us, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead in this deep dive.
So let's look at how this event is actually structured, because the timeline is super critical here. Before the massive 1,000-person gala that's supposedly happening on Friday, July 3rd, there is a highly secretive event the night before.
The private dinner, the event that literally sparked this entire news cycle. We are talking about a 100-person gathering on Thursday night, which is widely reported to be the rehearsal dinner. And here's where the details get so intensely modern.
And the invitations.
Yes, the invites for this ultra-exclusive billionaire dinner weren't beautifully embossed calligraphy cards mailed via a white-gloved courier. They were text messages.
Which highlights a fascinating contradiction in how this entire weekend is being handled. According to sources from the Naughty But Nice newsletter, the bride-to-be has been really adamant behind the scenes. She reportedly told her team she wants a wedding where she can, quote, recognize every face.
Yeah.
She explicitly stated she does not want a networking event or some big industry power summit.
And yet the Friday Bash is looking at a guest list of up to 1,000 people. You cannot intimately know 1,000 people. Think about the last time you tried to organize a dinner for 10 close friends. Now imagine doing it for 1,000, where half the guests need their own Secret Service details.
It's impossible.
But they're desperately trying to maintain that intimate vibe, starting with the communication. To prevent leaks, there is zero paper trail. No physical invitations for anyone to intercept at the post office or sell to the tabloids for a quick payout. A-listers are getting casual texts and phone calls essentially saying, hey, keep this weekend clear. Location to follow.
And when you look at who is receiving those texts, the guest list reads like an unprecedented collision of completely different cultural universes.
Yeah.
We have the NFL, Hollywood, Nashville, and British royalty all intersecting.
Rather than just reading a massive list of names, let's look at the logistical nightmare of just two of the heavily rumored guests.
Okay.
On one hand, you have Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
On the other hand, you have Prince William, who actually played coy on a UK radio show, giving him no comment but hinting an invite might be floating around.
That is wild.
Think about the security details for just those two individuals colliding in one room. You have NFL security protocols mixing with literal British royal protection officers. It's a logistical powder keg just to get them from the airport to the dinner table.
Exactly. And the reported performers add another whole layer of complexity to this. We're not talking about a really good local wedding band. The rumored performers are music legends. Stevie Nicks is reportedly on the list, which feels highly plausible considering Taylor recently wore a Stevie Nicks shirt to an NBA Finals game at MSG.
Right, planting those Easter eggs.
Exactly. Tim McGraw is reportedly taking the stage. And Ed Sheeran is practically a given.
Yeah, she was asked on a radio show if Ed would perform, and she literally laughed and said it would be hard to keep him away from the microphone. It's an unbelievable lineup. But, you know, in Hollywood, who isn't there is often just as loud as who is.
Oh, absolutely.
If the entire goal of this text message invite strategy is to curate a room of absolute trust, a true bunker, it makes the absence of one specific person incredibly glaring.
Yeah, according to multiple reports, Blake Lively is notably absent from these text message threads.
This was shocking to read. They have been incredibly close for years. They've been photographed together at Super Bowls, at holiday parties. But the sources note that there has been a significant falling out, specifically stemming from the intense public and legal battles Lively had recently involving Justin Baldoni.
Which was a massive PR storm.
Huge. And it just goes to show that even at the highest echelons of wealth and fame, when you are building $1 million bunker, interpersonal drama and the need for absolute leak-proof trust can still completely dictate the seating chart.
It perfectly encapsulates the tension these two are navigating. There is this desperate desire to have an intimate, recognizable life with your genuine friends. But the reality is your life has grown so large that it requires a massive, guarded stadium just to hold the people in your orbit securely. You are trying to force a normal, human milestone into an infrastructure designed for a political convention.
And that infrastructure is already buckling under the weight, because that's not even the wildest part of this story. Later in the deep dive, we're going to talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming, why the NYPD is terrified of this weekend, and the multi-million-dollar conspiracy theory that is turning the internet completely upside down.
We really need to talk about the security reality of this situation because it's not just about guarding the doors of MSG. A high-ranking source within the New York Police Department spoke anonymously to the New York Daily News, and their assessment was incredibly blunt. They are calling a Madison Square Garden wedding on this specific weekend a logistical and security, quote, nightmare.
Let's paint a picture of New York City for you on the 4th of July weekend, because it explains why the NYPD is sweating so much. The city is already stretched to its absolute breaking point. You have the massive Sail 250 maritime event happening, bringing in tall ships and military vessels from all around the world. Right across the river in New Jersey at MetLife Stadium, they are hosting a massive FIFA World Cup match. And on top of that, you have the standard millions of tourists who flood Manhattan for the Independence Day fireworks.
Now, drop a 1,000-guest billionaire wedding right into the geographic center of Midtown Manhattan.
Oh, wow.
And here is the mechanism that makes it truly a nightmare. Madison Square Garden doesn't just sit on a city block. It literally sits directly on top of Penn Station, which is the busiest transit hub in the entire Western Hemisphere.
It's insane.
Over 600,000 commuters pass beneath that arena every single day. The sources report that Amtrak police, who patrol the subterranean train levels, are already on high alert. How do you secure a perimeter when 500,000 unvetted strangers are walking directly underneath the floorboards of your event?
You almost can't. And NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch even joked about the wedding while listing off the city's summer security workload at a press conference before quickly walking it back. But the high-ranking sources aren't kidding. It is a total nightmare. You are trying to secure a perimeter around the most famous people on Earth in the most densely populated real estate in the country on a major holiday weekend.
Which leads us to the viral response. Because the fans, the people who follow this couple's every move with forensic, almost academic detail, are looking at this logistical nightmare and completely rejecting the narrative.
Yes, the internet sleuths are out in full force, and they are not buying the MSG story for a single second. They are pointing to a recent interview with NFL tight end George Kittle. He went on camera, confirmed he received an invite, but when the reporter asked him if the wedding was actually at Madison Square Garden, he literally laughed out loud at the idea.
Like, could not contain himself.
Not a chuckle, a full belly laugh.
The fans have constructed an entirely different theory, and honestly, the evidence they are compiling is compelling. The fan theory is that the SG Street permits, the $3 million arena rental, the massive hotel blocks booked at the Marriott Marquis in Times Square for the Kansas City Chiefs players.
Right, all of it.
It is all a highly orchestrated, incredibly expensive smokescreen.
A decoy wedding. I mean, it's like a magician's sleight of hand.
Right.
MSG is the flashbang. They are setting off a $3 million firework in Manhattan so they can sneak out the back door. The theory is that they are doing all of this just to draw the world's paparazzi, the news helicopters, and the drone cameras to New York City, keeping all eyes locked on the wrong building.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the real wedding is happening somewhere entirely secluded. The prime suspect. A mysterious, massive white tent that was recently spotted going up next to her sprawling, highly guarded estate in Watch Hill, Rhode Island.
Fans are even citing her own songwriting as proof of the philosophy behind this move. In the track, "But Daddy, I love him," she explicitly sings the lyric, "No, you can't come to the wedding." It's a reminder that she views this milestone not as a public spectacle, but as a fiercely protected private moment.
But, you know, I have to admit my own genuine confusion here, and I want to push back on the fan theory a bit. I mean, would someone, even a billionaire, really spend over $3 million just to create a fake out? They are renting an arena for 3 days. They filed actual legal city permits. They booked out a massive Times Square hotel. Is privacy really worth the GDP of a small country just to throw photographers off your scent? It feels like the plot of an Ocean's 11 heist movie, not a marriage.
It does sound like a heist, but what's fascinating here is what this suggests about the actual mechanics of modern fame. When you exist at this specific stratospheric level of global attention, you cannot simply ask for privacy. You cannot politely put up a do not disturb sign on your front door and expect the tabloids to honor it. You have to actively manufacture privacy. You have to buy it. And sometimes, the only way to buy a truly private moment is to purchase a $3 million public distraction. Misdirection becomes a utility. It's no different than purchasing a bodyguard or renting a bulletproof limousine. You are buying a shield.
It's the ultimate magic trick. Look at the shiny $1 million object in New York so you don't see the quiet, genuine moment in Rhode Island. If you're captivated by how the elite pull the strings behind the scenes and manipulate the media, stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next in the world of pop culture.
If we take a step back and look at all these sources, from the municipal permits to the VIP guest list to the NYPD's immense anxiety over securing Penn Station, this raises a profound question for us to mull over. If the Madison Square Garden wedding is truly just a multi-million-dollar decoy, it fundamentally redefines what celebrity privacy means today.
It really does. It means that the spectacle we constantly consume on our feeds, the paparazzi shots, the viral moments, the grand public gestures, might just be a completely manufactured product. A beautifully crafted, shiny object, intentionally designed to keep us distracted. It suggests that while we are busy analyzing their public movements, their actual, authentic, emotional lives are happening completely off the grid, totally inaccessible to us.
Exactly. But it also introduces an entirely new and somewhat troubling angle that wasn't really mentioned in our previous discussion. If celebrities can afford to buy out public city infrastructure, closing off streets, disrupting transit hubs, and requiring immense NYPD and Amtrak police resources on a major holiday weekend just to serve as a fake-out, at what point does a private PR stunt become a public burden?
Oh, wow, that is a brilliant point. If this is just a decoy, the taxpayers and the 600,000 commuters at Penn Station are essentially subsidizing the logistical headache of a billionaire's magic trick. It makes you wonder, are we just happily buying tickets to the brilliant theatrical illusions they build to keep us looking the other way, or are we actively paying the hidden costs for their privacy? It's something to really think about the next time you see a camera flash. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.